We stand now outside the court waiting for the judgment. Literally in a couple of minutes we will hear what will happen. It's quite critical because on the one side, if we win the case, then it will be a strategic victory, specifically for people that believe that affirmative action simply goes too far. Especially the principle of representativity will then be tested, and it will also be judged that representativity can't be the only yardstick. On the other hand, if we lose the case, then it will open up a new path for us to go to the Constitutional Court to test the whole principle of representativity from a constitutional point of view.
I was worried, but I want to say thank you for God in the first place and for solidarity. Thank you so much. Without them, I couldn't have done it. Thanks.
He just said here that she must be promoted. Now we've asked in the prospectus that it must be retrospective.
It's from the 27th of July 2006.
Okay, so, sorry.
And for the solidarity. Without their help, I couldn't have made it. Thank you so much, and for all the support from the people outside. Thank you.
How did you feel when you heard the judgment? Was it quite a surprise?
I couldn't believe it, yeah.
And what is your message to anyone else in your position who's also fighting this battle?
It's not an easy road, but for the best, and I want to do the best for our country. That's the only thing, not for an individual, but for everybody outside there. But it's not easy. Thank you so much.
And how?
Well, we are absolutely delighted because of this specific judgment. The fact of the matter is everyone wins with this judgment. In the first place, it's Captain Barnard. She can now serve the public again, and she also get promotion to do that. Now, in the second place, it's also victory for all in South Africa, because the fact of the matter is that this judgment said that representativity can't be the only criteria or the most important criteria if you appoint someone. Merit must also play a role, and that means at the end of the day that service delivery will be improved because of this judgment. A lot of journalists ask me whether we have a battle against affirmative action. And the irony here is that we have a battle here to bring the public service, and in this case the South African Police Service, back to the parameters of the Employment Equity Act. Our experience is that the public service more and more went beyond the borders of the Employment Equity Act and also the provisions of the South African Constitution. And we as a civil institutions, obligation is to make sure that institutions, especially the state that must set an example, act within the borders of the applicable legislation. Our experience is that more and more in the public service we see that there's a notion that transformation becomes the highest authority, especially in the form of racial representativity. So the fact is that in principle the court found the police service guilty of unfair racial discrimination.